All right, hockey fans, so not a whole lot of news going on today, kind of that dead space, but I got you covered today anyway. Make sure you hit that like button, hit that subscribe button with the notification bell. Got more interviews coming up with at least one fan coming this week. We may be working on some other bigger names. Got exciting things coming up you do not want to miss. All right, so speaking of the dead space, and there's not much news, and there's no hockey, right? There's no hockey. And so, now that, the expansion draft and everything is over, hockey fans, we're just kind of sitting here, what do we do now, right? We could read about football and training camps or just wait. So it got me thinking about, well, there's no hockey news, but what is in the news, obviously, a ton, is the pandemic. Now, I'm not going to lie. I'm a little bit concerned about, the spike in cases and how everything is going. I don't need to tell you. Everybody sees how things are going right now. I'm a little bit concerned that we are going to have a repeat of the previous situation where we get 3/4 of the way through a season, whatever it was, and then the bomb drops. So I have a couple of ideas. Here. And maybe they've already worked on this, maybe they haven't. But first of all, I would hope that the first thing I thought was, are we jumping the gun too soon? Should we have maybe done one more year with the divisions the way that they were, do the full 82 games, but let Canada stay in Canada and do things the way we did this last season? Are we jumping the gun here a little bit? It's sort of like, with the guidance with the masks and everything, right? Did we move too soon? So, I'm looking at it and I'm saying, should we have maybe just kept things the way they were for one more year to be safe? But we didn't. Because the concern is Canada, where, obviously it's a different country, so they have completely different rules, and if they say nobody's getting in, nobody's getting in. So now, the first thing I'd like to know is, did the NHL get, did they get an agreement with the Canadian officials that says, no matter what happens, we're not going to block your players and your teams from coming in? Something tells me that we don't have that. Something tells me that it's still kind of a wait and see, cross our fingers, hope situation. So I'm not real keen on that. So the couple of ideas I have, separate from maybe we should have just kind of left things the way they were for one more year, was one of two things. Let's say things go south and the Canadian government decides that, hey, look, we can't have all this travel, all this cross-border travel. We could do one of two things. We could create a Canadian bubble where all the Canadian teams travel to a centralized location. They all play their normal schedule, so when it's a Canadian home game, that's the location that they play it at. If the Panthers have to go to Montreal or Panthers have to go play Toronto, whoever it might be, it's a centralized bubble location. Hopefully, obviously, with more than one, maybe there's a practice facility with more than one rink that would be suitable for NHL hockey. Otherwise, I don't see any way that you wouldn't have schedule adjustments. And that's my point, is that, you would have to stop everything because Canada closed the borders. The way things are right now, if we get to January and Canada has a problem and they need to close the borders, the whole season, the way that it is right now, is kaputs. We'd have a massive problem. So we could either do a Canadian bubble or maybe two bubbles so that we could split the teams between the two areas, you know what I mean? Do something like that. Or if the Canadian government is insistent upon nobody's getting in, what about letting all the Canadian teams travel to a centralized or maybe two centralized locations in the United States, create another couple of bubbles there where the Canadian teams, again, that's where they play, and then if a visiting team comes in, that's where they go, to that bubble location. I haven't heard, read, seen anything about contingency plans, and maybe everybody just wants to kind of, hide their head in the sand and cross their fingers and act like this isn't a possibility. But so far, in case you guys haven't noticed with this virus, it's been, we give and take and give and take and back and forth, right? And it's to the point now where stuff that they told us we were crazy for saying 3 months ago is now CDC saying the same thing. So nobody, let's just call it. Nobody really knows what the hell is going on. Okay, everybody has their different theories, and everybody thinks everybody else is kind of Cocoa for Cocoa Puffs with their theories, but nobody knows what's going on. And so I would hope that they have contingency plans that make sure that the season stays as uninterrupted and as undisturbed as possible if Canada decides that, okay, we're going to have to lock down again, because they would do it first. I'm not just singling them out, obviously, but if things are going to go south, the Canadian government's going to lock down far sooner than the majority of the United States locations. So I know some of you might be like, Jaws, why are you even bringing this up? Why are you even thinking about it? But I don't think we should hide our heads in the sand here. I think we should have multiple contingency plans. And to be honest, the way I'm seeing things go right now, the bubble that we had worked. The bubble that we made, the way that we did things when we when we came back from the break, you know what I mean? When we stopped hockey and we came back, that worked. And then the divisions last year, that worked too. I'm a little bit concerned that we moved too fast to go back to full speed, complete normalcy. And if we get 30, 40 games into the season and Canada has to close up, the whole thing blows up. The whole thing blows up, and at the very least, we would have to stop play, reorganize, reconfigure things, figure out what we're going to do, and then move on. So, just makes me wonder if anybody has heard anything like the NHL has a guarantee from the Canadian government that they're going to, allow the cross-border travel regardless of what happens, then we're good to go. But if it's just crossing our fingers and hoping for sunshine and rainbows, I'm getting a little bit concerned. I can't lie about that, because so far, no matter what your opinion is, so far pretty much everything that everybody thought wasn't going to happen is happening, and thought was going to happen isn't happening. Nobody knows what's going on, and I just would love to see a public contingency plan. And if somebody knows about one that's already out there, let me know. So that was it. Like I said, there's not a lot going on, but this has been in the back of my mind. I thought this was the perfect day on a Monday. Everybody's already in a kind of a crappy mood because it's Monday. So I figured I'd drop this now before the Reinhart and Barkov contracts come, because that'll be a happy day. That'll be a happy day. So, all right. Appreciate all the support. Appreciate everybody that showed up for the live stream yesterday. I'm fixing to have another one this upcoming Sunday. Working on that Bobrovsky video where I talk about the differences and show the differences between how he was then and how he is now. Probably look for that about Thursday. Somebody in the NHL needs to do something, because all of us are we're just dying for content here. You know what I mean? Do something good. No more Evander Kane situations. Let somebody save a puppy. Could we have an NHL player jump into a river? It's summer. Everybody's swimming. How about Jonathan Huberdeau saves a puppy? That would be great for the channel. I'm just saying. Maybe I'm greedy.